For many of us, even finding a purpose is already a daunting task. But then matching our career, aligning our career with that purpose, that is scary, that is heavy, that's big, and that is full of uncertainty. And maybe you think of a career change. Maybe you think of moving to a different location. Maybe you think of doing something completely different. And that is big. And now I want to break this down for you into 5 easy steps coming right up.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief.
Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, welcome to XWindsPilot. I've been a chief operating officer in the financial sector. I have been a managing director. I became a commercial pilot, and very lately I'm also a YouTube content creator. And what I've learned over those 21 years is a thing or two about career change, about aligning your business, aligning your career with your purpose. And that is something I wish to share with you today. Before we get into it, let me also share with you that this is a very new channel. So when you like these kind of videos, please hit the like button to this video. It helps the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That'll make sure that you'll miss nothing in the future. And to me personally, if you comment down below any of your questions, any of your comments, I'd love to connect with you. Now let's get right into the video. Number 1, start with your personality and your values. Even when you start a new business, you start always with what you have. And you think about all the things that are already in your bucket. So your personality and your values, they are really important. There are many tests out there. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for. For me personally, I found 2 of the tests really useful. Number 1 is something called the Strength Finder, or today it's actually the Strength Finder 2.0, and that is by Gallup. The second part that I'm really fond of is a website called 16 Personalities. It's a personality test that's based on the Myers-Briggs scale, and they offer you free tests and free results. There's some paid version as well, and maybe you can get a little bit of more information. But I think when you go and do that test on 16 personalities, that'll already give you a pretty good view. In fact, I did that test myself, and I'll bring up here on the screen my actual personality report, and I'll show you how maybe some of the things helped me to then structure my life today. So this 16 personality test is actually very useful to sense check your ideas. On this test, I come out as an ENTP, or in their words, it's an originator. So when I started to make this YouTube channel, I looked at the different aspects of an ENTP and how this may come useful or what may hinder my success in it. So it starts with a result snapshot and the personality type and some of the intelligences that you have, and whether you are a left-brained or a right-brained person. What's quite useful after that is talking about your personality type and what it means also in your behavior. So for example, when I looked at it further, it comes up with ENTP, the originator. It talks about being innovative and flexible, and it talks about being objective and logical. And right away, I could see that probably providing an educational element and an educational channel is probably better for me than an entertainment channel, because, well, logic isn't that entertaining, is it? And likewise, it talks about creativity and problem solving, and that is one of the things I would love to bring towards you. So it just confirmed one of my thinkings of what I wanted this channel to be about. It comes up also with several of the characteristics, and you can see that maybe when you think of the next career move or when you think about what might be useful for you in the future, you have a whole range of characteristics that may apply to you. They may not all apply to you, but I think there are several in there that resonate. For me, it was being logical, being future focused, being somewhat theoretical and assertive, somewhat entrepreneurial, and those are things that I like to combine when I thought about my next step in the career. It also gives you a list of strengths and weaknesses, and then some information about cognitive functions. And finally, it gives you a whole list of possible careers that may match your type. Again, it's nothing that you have to rely on, but what I found for myself is just going through this test and answering the questions and reading some of the results helped me steer myself in the right direction and also better understand myself about the things that I like, the things that I don't like, and maybe the things that I can change to like them better in the future. Now ask yourself the same question about your personal values. What is important to you? Is it money that matters? Is it family that matters? Is it maybe one of your hobbies that matters most to you? Or is it spirituality? So ask yourself, what is really important to me? And maybe you ask a friend, maybe you ask somebody who is honest with you, and you ask them, how do you think I feel about life in general? That may give you a clue as well. Being very clear about what your personality is and what your values are will help you direct yourself to the right career path that is then aligned with your purpose. So that is the first step. The second step is identify your strengths. What skills have you developed over time? I actually talked about this a couple of weeks ago in a video titled Design Your Life. I'll link it in this description below, so if you're interested in that, please watch it after this video. But it is a very important question as well to be very clear about the strengths that you have. Some of the personality tests may already give you a little bit of an indication for that, which we've just discussed, and they have a list of strengths and weaknesses. But once again, go out and ask your family and your friends and maybe your co-workers, what do they appreciate in you? Very closely linked to finding your strengths is also thinking about your experiences. What are moments in life where you felt really successful? What are moments where you felt really fulfilled? Was it one specific skill? It's very unlikely. It's more likely that maybe it was a theme of skills. Maybe it was something that you detect that helped you throughout your life. So I want to give you an example. Probably the biggest change that I went through is from working in the financial sector and in a management position and becoming a commercial pilot. And when I eventually applied for roles as a commercial pilot, I faced the question, what are my skills? How can I possibly tell them about my skills? Because surely enough, they do not apply to a pilot. They have nothing to do with what I want to do right now. But then I stopped myself and I thought back to the moments that made me feel successful in my previous career. And in my case, those fell into three buckets. One was that I always enjoyed organizing work. That could be organizing work, organizing people and teams, or organizing a project. I was very good at putting structure to an idea. The second part is something that I was told by many people, that I found very creative solutions to some of the problems. And I was also very keen to make sure that the solutions are always flexible and appropriate to any problem that we faced. And third, and that is something that I probably enjoyed most, I loved connecting people to their purpose. So helping somebody, helping an employee, for example, to see how their job relates to the overall business and how their job matters in the context of what we try to achieve as a business in the industry. And I realized that those are three things that are then very useful as a pilot too, because you do have to be organized. You also face a lot of challenges and new problems or new situations every single day, so you have to make sure that your solutions and your thinking remains very flexible. And too many, bringing people from A to B and making their journey as safe and as comfortable as possible is quite purposeful in itself. So don't just stop asking about your skills. Make sure that you think about the themes in your life where you felt really successful, and that will help you to align your career with a purpose in life as well. Now let's move away from just the question of what we do and ask, how do we do it? In what way do we want to achieve our success? And it comes down to the simple question, what is my ideal lifestyle? How do I envisage my ideal day to go? The reality of most careers is that we have a certain amount of routine. And in fairness, I think the routine as maybe a commercial pilot is far greater than maybe that of a finance manager. But that wasn't how I envisaged or how I created my ideal life, because for me the purpose of it was that I was proud to actually have two careers in a lifetime. That was what was driving me, and that was also why I made the decision to actually become a commercial pilot. But I didn't stop there. I also asked myself the question, how do I want my life to pan out? Given all that we just said, that maybe there is a high degree of routine as a commercial pilot versus maybe what is natural to me as an ENTP. So I looked into how I wanted my life to pan out. Do I want to be out there flying every day? Because in most airlines that is what you do. But given what we just said about the routine and maybe what fits my personality type, I didn't want to do that. And I found an airline who also does some of the scheduled flights, but the majority of their flying is private charter. And it's a completely different schedule. And yes, you have to be a lot more flexible around your time, but it also means that I have plenty of time to do other things in my life, to continue in my consulting business, or, for example, to start this YouTube channel. Life today is far more multifaceted than maybe 1 or 2 generations ago. So have the confidence to play around with it, to make sure that you live the ideal day, you live your ideal week or your ideal year, and how you align whatever you do, whether you build an own business, whether you are in a career, whether you are employed by somebody, that you align it with the purpose of how you want your life to pan out over the next period of time. Finally, number 5, you actually have to know what success is for you. And to be very open and honest with you, I struggled with that at first. In my old role, the days that I lived through were very intense. You went to work, and even when you left work and were on your way home, or when you arrived at home, the day was never over. You still thought about the problems that you had in the day. You still maybe pondered what can you do to achieve that promotion for one of your employees. And if that wasn't the case, then maybe because you were in Europe, you dialed into a conference call over in the US or over in Asia. So work in that way never stopped. And it depends what you want in life, but for me, that was success. For me, that was something that I truly enjoyed. Now fast forward and envisage myself in the role of a commercial pilot. It's very different. Yes, you come and you have to prepare for the flight, you have to download all your material, and you have to look at the flight route, you discuss with the other pilot what possible challenges are, and then you do the flight. The difference is, after you've done the flight, you leave the cockpit and that's it. But then I realized that success for me was that now, after I've done a flight, and of course I strive to actually do that as safe and as comfortable as I can, but once it's done, I can't change it anymore. So my success now is that I have the freedom once I come home to pursue my other ideas. And it's the truth for many of my colleagues as well. A lot of them spend a lot of time with their families or for their hobbies and whatever it is. For me, it's a little bit different, and I love doing consulting in finance. I love creating content here on this YouTube channel. But I had to redefine success for me to actually experience this part of life, because otherwise I would always think back to my old job. I would always think that maybe the grass was greener where I was before. So tip number 5 in short is, make sure that before any change you also define what success at the end of it is for you. So what I like to know is, what is your one word? If you had only one word to describe your success, what is it? Please put it down in the comments below. I would love to read about it, and also hopefully it will help me to determine what may be good topics for a future next video. In the meantime, please also hit the like button for this video. It'll help the YouTube algorithm, and if you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, you won't miss a thing in the future. For now, have a great week ahead. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. I will see you very soon.